Big news coming in from Texas. Kevin Harvick has failed the R&D center. He's failed post-race inspection. And his win has been encumbered. And now he goes into Phoenix needing a perfect run to advance further into the championship four. Just today, like they always do, middle of the week, NASCAR revealed the penalties from R&D and stated what everything would be. And we saw a lot of failures. Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones, all assessed, I think it was L1 penalties, all had their finishing positions encumbered, and they've lost points in car chiefs and crew chiefs and whatever. The biggest one, though, obviously, Blaney and Jones not in the chase, not really any effect for them there besides maybe some points and where they finish. But the biggest one is Kevin Harvick failing from the win. This win locked him into the championship four at Homestead for a spot going at that championship. But now, since his win is encumbered, he can no longer use the win to get to Homestead. The win would not count as a tiebreaker, as well as now he's dropped 40 points, and without that win, he is now in the danger zone, very vulnerable if something happens at Phoenix. The only good thing for Harvick is that ISM Phoenix is next, a track where he's won at, I think, almost 10 times, and won there earlier in the season. So if there's a place he's going to win, it would be here. So if he can put together some, a good race, it doesn't have to be one. I said it needs to be nearly perfect because But with Harvick's win or whatever, it put Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch as the last drivers, and I think they were like 25 and 28 points above or something like that. So it was going to be like Kurt, Chase, Boyer, and Almirola. They were going to need to win. The problem is now that Harvick got his 40-point penalty after failing the inspection, he's now only 3 points above the cut line, and only Kurt Busch now only 3 points below. I think Chase Elliott's like 17 points below. So the 41 and the 9, if the 4 has some issues and cannot get these points, they can capitalize. We've seen all the pit mistakes out of the 4 car with speeding or lug nuts or whatever. If something like that happens again and the 4 cannot end out a race or not get some stage points, and the 41 and the 9 they finish top 10 stages and top 10 in the race, they could point their way. Especially Kurt Busch, only 3 points. That is not a lot. Chase Elliott, if Harvick does not get top 10 one of those stages and Chase does, he cuts in significantly to that points amount. And Chase is also pretty good at Phoenix, so it's going to be a crazy one. Another big thing is that Harvick's crew chief and car chief are suspended for the rest of the season. The big one being Rodney Childers, as he's one of the best crew chiefs in the business right now, so he's getting put to the side. Once again, they have another great crew chief, Tony Gibson, to fill in. Obviously, Childers it's gonna have some say in what goes into the car. He's gonna set up the car for Phoenix and Homestead. He's just not gonna be able to be there to make the calls. However, Tony Gibson is a great crew chief to have on that box. He's fantastic at his job. He knows what he's doing. So if there's a crew chief that you probably want in place for Rodney Childers, it might be Tony Gibson. He's pretty outstanding on the box. He can definitely get Harvick a top 5, a top 10, even a win here at Phoenix. He's won races with Kurt Busch and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But another big thing, Truex and Cole Pearn have officially been announced to go to JGR. Been waiting for a while for that. They are officially going. But a big thing about the penalties is this. I've seen a lot on social media, once again, from NASCAR fans, and it aggravates me. Because before, when we had drivers failing inspection, but it was like, oh, here's a 10-point penalty, or here's a fine for the crew chief. But it was never anything huge. It was always like, oh, yeah, here's a 10, 15-point penalty. Your crew chief got, suspended for a race. Here's this monetary fine. But and then people were like, this is way too soft. They cheated. They got away with it. They won the race. They cheated. It's not really anything big. You can cheat and just get a 10-point penalty, but you still get more points out of it. And now NASCAR says, okay, Kevin Harvick, you cheated. Here is a 40-point penalty. Your crew chief and car chief are gone for the rest of the season. You're not making it into the Final Four and whatever. And then you have people going, well, NASCAR's just pulling this out of nowhere. They're just making up rules now. Even though people want, once again, it's another thing. NASCAR will never win with the fans. They make this, they just make this penalty up because Harvick, it was something with the spoiler. Something was wrong with the spoiler. We don't really know what was wrong with the spoiler, but something was wrong with the spoiler. They found an R&D, and that was it. But just think about it. You have people that are like, NASCAR needs to enforce these penalties a ton more. That they have to be a lot more strict with them. And now here we are, we get a very, very, very strict penalty. It's taken someone out of the championship four and could possibly, set their whole season downward. But not only that, but, here we are. And man, people are complaining about it. People are like, NASCAR's making this up as they go. Da da da. You know, it's getting hard to watch the sport, even though they were the people saying, oh man, why don't we have more aggressive penalties? Why don't people lose the wins? Well, Harvick just lost the win. Now people are saying, oh, you just pulled it out of your asses. It doesn't make sense at all. They found something illegal with the car. They did something with it. That's what we wanted. We wanted the cheating people to be like, well, you don't get to keep what you won because you cheated. It's like on a test. If you get caught cheating, hey, you're not getting that 100 that you gained off of cheating. You're getting a 0. That's what Harvick got. Instead of getting that win advantage to Miami and all those points, he instead now gets nothing. He gets 0 points. He gets 0 wins. Even though that win's going into the record book as one of his own, it's not going to matter about that win if he doesn't go out and perform at Phoenix, because then he'll be out of the championship 4 anyway. So he's basically getting nothing from this win except for a 1 in the wins column in his record book. So big news here today for NASCAR. It's going to make Phoenix a little more interesting, I think. But once again, it's Harvick at Phoenix we're talking about, so he can definitely perform well there. Once again, we've seen so many things happen. Anything could happen. We've seen blown tires, mechanical issues, pit penalties. I mean, it's not set in stone. It's not like, oh, Harvick's just going to go there and dominate and lead, 200 of the 312 laps. Anything can happen on any given day. Wait for that to happen. We'll see if anything happens. So Phoenix could be interesting now. Harvick not in a spot in the Final 4, still only leaving Joey Logano safe, and Harvick is now clawing on to the Final 4 spot, 3 points above Kurt Busch. So it's going to be a fun time. NASCAR social media has just been blown up. My goodness. I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys for the next video.